So I use the automatic sewing tool, which is kind of new. It did okay. I did notice a couple problems that I went in and started to fix. And I was going to fix the neckline seam, but I just realized I'm kind of going off topic. Like this is still beginning. We're only in module 2. I think it's too confusing if I go in and fix it. So instead what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete all the sew lines and I want to demonstrate how to use the two sewing tools, the segment sewing tool and the free sewing one, to sew up your garment, because more often than that, you're probably going to want to use that instead of the automatic sewing tool. I think it's probably going to take a couple updates before that one really works. So, and we're learning as well. So again, as long, like once you really have good control over the segment sewing tool and the free sewing tool, that's probably a good time to actually use the automatic one, because then you'll be able to go fix it more easily. Okay, so let's see here. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my edit sewing tool. I'm gonna select over everything and I'm just gonna hit delete. Okay, so it's not sewn together anymore. And you know, I think it might mostly work in the 2D pattern for this one. Okay, but sometimes I like to check the 3D one as well. So like, I guess I'll just double check. I'm gonna use the transform tool. If I click right here on her, okay, good. The blue dot is, this is her side seam. I just want to double check that it should be sewn to this side seam. So I'm just going to click here on the shirt, and yeah, I can see the blue dots on this side as opposed to the other one. So I need to sew these two side seams together. They should be the same length. I can double check by using letter Z, keyboard shortcut, and I can click this line and it says it's 14.969. Okay, what are you? 14.969. Perfect. Say for some reason you really need that number to be 15, not whatever. You can right click and change length, and I could just type in the number 15, and you have two options. You'll either change by bringing up the armhole, or you can change the direction to be both, some on the armhole and some at the hem, or all of it to the hem. So I'm going to do all of it to the hem, and I'm just going to make this one also 15 inches. I always get off topic, so I apologize. I just can't help myself. Okay, 15, and I will change that to the end. Okay, I'm going to do the other side too, because it just kind of bugs me. Change length, 15. That one's working for some reason. No, whatever. Okay, and oopsies. Down over. Okay. Oh, that one was 15. How about that? Okay, weird. Okay, so I mean, sometimes you get these 2D patterns. They're a little funky, so it doesn't hurt to clean them up. Okay, so I do know that this side seam needs to get sewn to that side seam. So let's get the segment sewing tool. I know they're exactly the same length, so this tool's fine. So I'm going to click here. Again, notice that notch. The notch, it can either be at the start or the finish. It doesn't matter, just as long as it matches the other side. So I guess I'm going to have it down towards the hem. I'm going to click one time, Cool. So those two will now be sewn together. I'm going to do the same to, so you can kind of see it on the 3D. I know maybe you can't, but it is there. If I try to pull it off, you probably see it. Okay, so now I need to sew the other side seam. So click. Okay. I know I need to sew the center back, unless I want to merge the center back. Like, why is there a seam there? Maybe I should just merge it. Let's see if that's easy enough. So again, letter Z for the keyboard shortcut. I'm going to hold Shift, get the other side. I'm going to right click, and there's merge. Yeah, I kind of like that better than a seam. What else needs to get sewn, right? That's a good question. Probably our shoulder seams. Okay, so this seam is 2.253. You're also 2.253. And great, so are you, 2.53. I'm just kind of checking to make sure. Okay, so this one gets sewn to this one, correct? Because those are the same with the side seams. So I'm going to use the segment one. I'm going to make the notch close to the neckline. I'll do that for both of them. Neckline notch, panning. Okay, cool. Okay, what else do we need to sew? We need to sew the sleeves to the garment. And then the sleeve, you have to sew the underarm seam as well to itself as well. So if you've taken a sewing class, you can imagine that. So I'm going to click here on the sleeve, and it's going to get sewn here, which makes like a little tube, right, for your arm to go in. And look, I didn't have to do it on the other sleeve. Do you see that? It automatically did it because I linked it. Symmetrical sewing was linked. Okay, so now we have one notch here, and that usually means the front, and one notch here, so this is the front garment. Are they the same length? I'm going to hit the letter A. Sometimes sleeve patterns are different lengths. You can ease them in. Sometimes they're exactly the same length. So I'm going to hit the letter Z. I'm going to click this. Okay, it looks like it's almost 4. We have 3.999. Okay, same thing here. What about here? It says 4.199. This one's a little bit bigger, but what about here? We have 4 inches. I'm going to go over to the back sleeve. Okay. I think they're close enough. I know that the sleeve's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So, for this one, I realize, I think though, if I were to use the segment one, it's gonna click, oh no, it stops between the notches, great. Okay, cool, so that's fine. And then this, I think, will be okay, because we want the notch to stop at the shoulder seam, so I click, is it 4.234, is that gonna work? See, these are 2 different lengths. It might work though. Yeah, it's fine. It's helpful because of the notch. This pattern came with a notch, so we didn't have to use the free sewing tool, which I guess is nice. Okay, so that's for the front. It didn't match it up on this one, so I'll go ahead and do that. Cool, so the front sleeves are good. Now I need to sew the back sleeve. So I'm gonna click here. And oops. Okay, it's gonna be on this side. And then I'll click for the other part. Okay. I know this is a lot of lines. It's probably looking, oopsies, I did not mean to do that. This goes here. Uh-oh. What did I do? Okay, I'll try that again. Click one time. Oh, there's already a stitch here because it was symmetrically linked. Yeah, okay. So I don't even need to do that because for some reason the symmetrical link worked this time on that particular piece. Okay, so I think I have it all sewn except for my rib trimming. So I'm gonna zoom in. I do know it needs to be like a circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get that sewn. So I'll make like a tube.